Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles, back again for another review. This time it's the Takara Transformers Masterpiece MP-11T Thundercracker. For all your Transformer needs, click the link in the description below to head on over to Robot Kingdom. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Alright, it's been a hell of a long wait for Takara to finally release Thundercracker in this MP-11 mold and finally complete the original Season 1 trio of Seekers with Starscream, Skywarp and Thundercracker. Now Skywarp was released I think as a Hasbro Asia exclusive last year, which pissed off quite a few people. But this one I think was a Takara Tomy exclusive that's also available through a number of retailers including Robot Kingdom. It's sold out now, but I guess that was expected at this price point. But you know, the excitement that I had finally getting this was probably a little bit dulled as I took him out of the box and started noticing some of the quality control issues with this particular release. You know, I've lost count of how many times they've released this particular mold, and I don't know if that's contributing to the issue. But really, you know, at this stage with their rollout of the MP figures, this sort of quality stuff shouldn't really be happening, particularly with this mold. But I'll get onto that shortly. But just quickly go through the packaging and so on. So you get the usual MP style, which I guess is no surprise to MP collectors, so I won't dwell too much on that. And you get all the sort of usual artwork and so on with the photos of the figure on the back. You also get a Japanese version of the instructions, and similar with Skywarp, it also comes with a Chinese version. And you'll notice that the for some reason the art on the front is a lighter color on the Chinese version and a darker color on the Takara. So the actual colorway is probably more accurate to the Chinese version. But at least this time for the Skywarp release, they had to cut the tape and include the instructions. This time they've included them by default without cutting the tape. So I guess mint inside box collectors can rest easy in that regard. It also comes with this particular coin, which comes in a pretty nice sort of cardboard cover like they normally do. So this is the Asia exclusive version. It folds out fairly nicely, so it's all nicely designed. But I always take them out and display these on coin easels, and I do like the overall design. I don't have the other coins readily available. They're stored away in my cupboard. But I can't remember if the Skywarp had this sort of same design, but it does look pretty nice. Also comes with the usual collector card, and I've already put it in my Ultra Pro card holders. And I do, as I've said before, I really do like this original sort of classic style and not that fancy artwork that they've done recently. The only other accessory is the holographic pilot. For Skywarp, it was I can't remember his name, Dr. Evers. Oh, not Dr. Evers, that's the Star Wars guy. I can't remember the character, the crazy scientist. And so Skywarp came with him and a Megatron gun. But Thundercracker here pretty much comes with just this. So on accessories front, it's pretty much bare bones. So I guess for the $160 to $200 price range, that's pretty much a kick in the guts, I guess. You'd hope they could have included, I don't know, an Energon cube or something, I don't know, reflector even, like a mini reflector like they did with Blaster, but nothing of that sort. But here is the figure, and on the face of it, I guess the things that I do love about it, of course, you know, I skipped on the Hasbro version because I just hated the sort of darker blue and all the weird tattoos and decals that they put on that particular figure. I guess Takara are more cartoon accurate. They've always been like that, and this blue colorway is definitely much more cartoon accurate to that Season 1 cartoon. So the blue is it's not overly bright. I guess under some lighting it might seem overly bright, but in hand it's actually very nice. And of course all of the silver paint work on the torso here and the crotch piece is also fairly nicely done. On Skywarp, the center of the crotch piece, much like Starscream, is not painted, and so it was just a grey plastic, but on Thundercracker here they have painted all of that. And overall it's pretty nice, but I'll start getting into some of the things that aren't that impressive. For example, the plastic on here, because it's that light blue color, the sprue marks, much like or even worse than Ultra Magnus, they really do become noticeable. So you'll see along the shins here, you can see all the sprue marks on the front of the shins there, on the areas where the wings fold back. I mean, I actually thought those were stress marks, but they're not. They're actually sprue marks for where they cut the plastic, and you can actually see them on the Starscream and Skywarp figures, but they're just more cleanly done, and so you don't notice them so much. And I'll grab the other two in a little bit and give you guys a comparison. So that's one aspect of it. I guess the other aspect, you know, even though they did paint the silver parts, there are some areas where there is quite a bit of paint slop. So, you know, I had a bit of a hair there that's sort of got caught in the paint, and then along the chest piece, this is where a lot of the paint issues have come about. So you'll see along the side here, there's a bit of, you know, paint slop and smearing on the sides there. You sort of got that on Skywarp as well, but not to this sort of degree. On this side it's much nicer on this side, and I guess on the top here you'll see quite a few sort of untidy sort of paint application. But overall on display, that part probably doesn't annoy me too much. I guess the other thing I noticed, because of the blue plastic, you just need to be careful. For example, here you can see a tiny little stress mark where they've inserted the screw, and I guess on Skywarp these elbow pieces were actually painted. They're not painted on Starscream, but definitely the mold at that particular time, and when they did the assembly, there were no such things as those stress marks. So it's a shame that mine's got that little bit there. The other thing that annoys me, of course, on Skywarp, they swapped the orientation of the wing insignias. They've done the same thing for Thundercracker here, where they should be upside down for cartoon accuracy. And this time they've put this silver border around the insignia, which Skywarp and Starscream do not have. So I'm not sure how they go about the decision process of identifying the paint applications for each of these figures, but I would have thought it's a known process. They've done it, you know, a couple of times before. Why can't they just do the same sort of thing? And I guess the other thing that annoyed me, that I didn't really notice at first until I saw some photos on the forums, was that there are no insignias on the back. Both Starscream and Skywarp have insignias on both sides, as I think all the other MP-11 releases have had. So again, that's a disappointment for me. So I'm not sure how that came about, but it just seems like some things have been skipped to sort of, it's not even almost to rush this out, it's just almost laziness for me. The other nitpick, both Starscream and Skywarp stand fairly well, and I always have mine. These legs are on a bit of a ratchet, and I always have them clicked one back, so that they don't look like they're sort of leaning forward too much. And both Starscream and Skywarp stand fairly well, but Thundercracker tends to sort of lean back, so he feels a bit unstable. And I noticed that was because the clearance on this heel piece here is a wider gap to the floor, or to the whatever level you have, and so Starscream and Skywarp will have that touching the ground at the back, whereas Thundercracker here does not, and so he'll start to lean back like so. So I guess it's those little things with the, you know, the sprue marks, I guess a bit of the sloppy silver paint, you know, stress marks and so on, and the missing insignias. It sort of just points to this being a bit of a lazy release to get you know, these colorways out of the way, and so they can start focusing on some of the new ones. But you know, I always wondered why they didn't release all three of them straight up front when they did the MP-11 mold with Starscream. I think with a new mold and the processes at the time, they probably would have been a better quality release. So I'll just grab the other two and give you guys a look at all three. Alright, so here he is with the other two, and of course with this original classic colorway, they do look pretty damn fantastic together. But as you'll notice, you know, these two are pretty damn stable. They don't rock back or anything, but Thundercracker here will start rocking back and forth, so that's disappointing. One other thing, of course, that they have improved on, similar to Skywarp here, I'll just grab his gun out the way, similar to Skywarp here, the torso does peg in nice and tight, and Thundercracker continues that, so there's no sort of floppiness. With Starscream here, everyone knows as you pick it up, his torso will start separating out. So I guess that's an issue that they've gradually improved on as they've released. So at least they've incorporated that with Thundercracker. But yeah, it's just those little things that sort of they shouldn't have done QC wise for this particular release. Now I will transform him into alt mode for this particular part. I'm not going to do the other two because I suck at transformations, and it'll probably take me the rest of the morning to do it. So I'll give him a quick transformation and then give you guys a look at what he looks like in jet mode. Hold on. Alright, so here he is in alt mode, and I guess in this particular mode I'm probably a lot more happier with it than I was with him in bot mode. I do love the classic colours. I guess the only thing probably not cartoon accurate is the black nose cone, but I think it does break up the blue, so it's probably a compromise that I'm happy to live with. And I do like the fact that you know, all the black on the tail fins is not sort of ruined by some weird sort of tattoos and decals like the Hasbro version. On the underside, same as always, nice and clean, or fairly clean for me anyway. So it does look pretty damn nice, and I think from memory the cockpit area here does line up better than it did on my Skywarp anyway. So overall, in alt mode, much better. So I guess that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys like that quick look at the new Thundercracker. As I mentioned before, you know, they could have done a lot better with the quality control. You can probably make out some of the paint slop on the silver especially. No more stress marks that I could find, but overall the sprue marks probably ruin it for me the most. You can see them really clearly here, so they're not even on hinges or anything like that, but that's just the way they've broken it out of the mold. And on the other figures it's just not as noticeable, so hopefully they don't ruin some of the upcoming figures with that sort of QC as well. So, but other than that, it's not too bad. For the money, I don't know, this is probably one for the hardcore fans who really just have to have the original trio in this particular format. I'm one of those sort of crazy collectors who just had to have this since I have Starscream and Skywarp, but I guess for the 160 to 200 price range, it probably isn't for everyone. But if you do have these in your collection, you are going to have a pretty nice looking Seeker collection, and I guess they've extended that now to tease out Ramjet recently with MP-11NR. I'm not sure what the NR stands for, but hopefully that comes out early next year, and we can have a look at the sort of retooling they're doing for this particular mold to fit the cone heads. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys like that quick look, and can hit that subscribe button. I've got all the other three repaints coming out for Masterpiece Transformers in Road Rage, Red Bumblebee and Clampdown coming up in December as well, so hopefully you can stick around for all of that. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.